Hey, it's Elon. Yeah, that Elon. The guy who spent his life building rockets to Mars, cars that drive themselves, and tunnels under cities to beat traffic. I'm here today not to talk about colonizing planets or revolutionizing transport, but something just as critical, something that hits closer to home for every woman out there. I'm talking about the signals, the subtle phrases, the coded words a man uses when he's already checked out of your relationship, when his heart and desire are orbiting someone else but he's still docked at your station, pretending everything's fine. This isn't just about relationships. It's about seeing reality for what it is, cutting through the noise, and taking control of your future. Because if we can decode the mysteries of the universe, we can damn well decode the mysteries of a man's wandering heart. I've always believed in tackling the toughest problems head on, whether it's landing a Falcon 9 booster on a dime or making electric cars mainstream. I don't shy away from what's hard. And let me tell you, there's nothing harder than navigating the emotional asteroid field of a relationship where someone's not being straight with you. I've seen it. Hell, I've lived through moments where the signals were there, but I was too focused on the next big thing to see them clearly. I've learned the hard way that ignoring reality doesn't make it go away. It just delays the crash. And today I'm here to help you, the women out there, avoid that crash, to spot the signs of an unfaithful man, not just in body, but in soul, before you're left picking up the pieces of a mission gone wrong. This isn't about bashing men. I'm a man, after all. It's about truth. It's about giving you the tools to see through the fog, to recognize the 7 phrases a man says when he's no longer all in, when he's already drifting toward another orbit, but wants to keep you as a backup satellite. These aren't random words. They're patterns, signals, like the telemetry data we get from a rocket launch. If you know how to read them, you can predict the trajectory and avoid a catastrophic failure. I'm not here to coddle you or tell you it's all going to be okay. I'm here to shake you awake, to give you the clarity to take the helm of your own life. Because you're not just the passenger in the story, you're the commander. Let me set the stage. Imagine you're in a relationship. You've poured your heart into it like I've poured years into SpaceX or Tesla. You've invested time, energy, dreams, everything. You're building something together, or so you thought, but then you start noticing glitches. He's still there, physically. He's eating at your table, sleeping in your bed, maybe even saying the right things, but something's off. His eyes don't light up like they used to. His words feel like they're coming from a script. You feel it in your gut, like a warning light on a control panel, but you can't quite pinpoint the error. That's where I come in. I've spent my life decoding complex systems, whether it's a neural network or a rocket engine, and I'm telling you, the human heart isn't that different. It sends signals, and if you miss them, you're setting yourself up for a crash landing. I'm not a psychologist, I'm not a therapist. I'm a guy who's built things from scratch, who's failed spectacularly and learned from it, who's obsessed with getting to the truth no matter how inconvenient it is. And I've seen enough of life through my own relationships, through the stories of friends, through the raw data of human behavior to know that men, when they're unfaithful, leave clues, not because they want to get caught, but because they can't help it. Their words betray them like a faulty sensor broadcasting bad data. And those words, they're not random. They're the same phrases over and over across cultures, across time zones, from New York to Shanghai. I've boiled them down to seven phrases that scream, I'm not with you anymore, even if he's still sitting across from you at breakfast. This is about empowerment. It's about giving you the same kind of clarity I demand when I'm staring at a spreadsheet of launch data or a blueprint for a hyperloop. You deserve to know when someone's not fully committed, when they're already halfway to another planet while you're still trying to keep the mission on track. Because here's the thing, you're not just a woman in a relationship, you're a force. You're capable of building empires, of dreaming bigger than anyone around you, of changing the world in ways that make my goals look small. But you can't do that if you're stuck in a holding pattern, orbiting a man who's already checked out. So let's get to it. Let's break down the first of these phrases, the one that's like the first crack in a rocket's heat shield, small but deadly if you ignore it. The first phrase is, I feel disconnected, but I don't know why. Sounds innocent, right? Like he's just confused, like he's trying to figure things out. Wrong. This isn't confusion. This is a man who's already started to drift. His heart, his desire, his focus, they're not on you anymore. They're locked onto someone else or something else, and he's too spineless to admit it. When a man says this, it's not a cry for help. It's a signal that he's already halfway out the door, but he wants you to think it's just a glitch in the system. It's not. It's deliberate. He's choosing to pull away, but he's dressing it up in soft words to keep you on the hook, to keep you wondering if it's your fault, if you need to try harder, to reconnect. Let me break it down like I would have failed launch. When a rocket goes off course, you don't just shrug and say, oh, it's probably fine. You dig into the data, you find the anomaly, and with this phrase, the anomaly is clear. He's not disconnected from the world, he's disconnected from you. His energy, his passion, the spark that used to light up when he looked at you, it's gone elsewhere. Maybe it's another woman, maybe it's a fantasy he's chasing, but whatever it is, it's not you anymore. And the worst part, he knows it. He's not confused. He's just not mad enough to say it straight. Instead, he hides behind this vague emotional line, like a coder burying a bug in a million lines of code, hoping you won't notice. I've been in rooms where engineers try to bullshit their way through a problem. We don't know why the battery failed, they'll say, but I don't accept that. I push until we find the root cause. And I'm telling you, ladies, you need to push too. When he says, I feel disconnected, don't buy it. Don't start soul searching, wondering what you did wrong. Don't try to fix him like he's a broken Tesla. The truth is, he's already running diagnostics on someone else's system. His attention is elsewhere, and he's using this phrase to buy time to keep you in orbit while he explores a new trajectory. Think about it. When you're building something great, a company, a relationship, a dream, you don't just feel disconnected for no reason. There's always a cause. And in this case, the cause is that his desire has left the launch pad. He's not waiting for your text anymore. He's not dreaming about your future together. He's already picturing himself somewhere else with someone else, but he wants to keep you as a backup in case his new mission fails. That's not love, that's cowardice. And you're not here to be someone's plan B. You're not a spare battery in a warehouse. You're the whole damn power grid. I've had moments in my life where I felt the ground shift under me. Building SpaceX, we almost went bankrupt in 2008. 3 failed launches, money running dry, the world telling me to give up. But I didn't. I doubled down, figured out what was wrong, and kept going. And that's what I'm asking you to do. When you hear this phrase, don't retreat. Don't try to understand him. Dig in. Ask yourself, what's he really saying? What's he hiding? Because I'll tell you what he's not saying. He's not saying, I'm all in for you. He's saying, I'm halfway out, but I want you to keep the engines running just in case. This is where you need to channel your inner rocket scientist. Relationships, like rockets, require constant course corrections. But if he's not willing to do the work, if he's already drifting toward another star, you can't keep burning fuel to chase him. You've got to set a new trajectory. You've got to say, if you're disconnected, that's your problem, not mine. Because here's the truth. You're not responsible for his feelings. You're not his engineer, his therapist, or his mission control. You're a woman with a universe of potential inside you, and you don't have time to waste on someone who's already checked out. Let me paint a picture. Imagine you're standing on the launch pad of your life. You've got dreams, big ones. Maybe you want to start a company, travel the world, or just build a life that makes you proud. But right now, you're tethered to a man who's not fueling your mission. He's saying things that make you doubt yourself, that make you think you're not enough, but you are enough. You're more than enough. You're a goddamn supernova. And when he says, I feel disconnected, he's not just pulling away from you, he's pulling you away from your own potential. Don't let him. I've failed a lot in my life. Rockets have exploded. Companies have teetered on the edge. Relationships have crashed and burned. But every time I've learned something. And what I've learned about this phrase is that it's not about you fixing him. It's about you recognizing the truth and acting on it. Don't try to reconnect with someone who's already unplugged. Don't beg for a seat on a ship that's already left the dock. Instead, build your own ship, chart your own course, because the universe doesn't wait for anyone, not me, not you, and definitely not a man who's too weak, to be honest. This is just the start. There are 6 more phrases, 6 more signals that a man's heart is no longer yours. But let's be clear, this isn't about despair, it's about power. It's about seeing the world as it is, not as you wish it to be. It's about taking control, like I did when I bet everything on Tesla or SpaceX, even when the odds were against me. You're not here to be someone's fallback. You're here to build something extraordinary. And the first step is recognizing when someone's trying to dim your light. So, ladies, listen up. If you've heard this phrase, I feel disconnected, but I don't know why, don't ignore it. Don't try to fix it. Look at it like a warning light on your dashboard. It's telling you something's wrong, and it's not your job to play mechanic. Your job is to protect your mission, your heart, your future. You're not just a woman, you're a force of nature, a pioneer, a creator. And no man, no matter how smooth his words, gets to derail that. So stay tuned because we're just getting started. We're going to decode every one of these phrases, and by the end, you'll be ready to launch your life into a whole new orbit. Let's do this. All right, we're back, diving deeper into the mission. This is about decoding the signals, the hidden telemetry of a man's words when his heart's already left the launch pad. We're not here to dwell on the wreckage of a failed relationship or to point fingers. We're here to arm you with the tools to see through the fog, to navigate the chaos of human emotions with the precision of a Mars rover. If you're a woman listening to this, you're not just along for the ride, you're the one steering the ship. And right now, we're zeroing in on the second phrase a man uses when he's unfaithful, when his loyalty is drifting into someone else's orbit. I need some space. Buckle up, because this one's a doozy, and I'm going to break it down like I'd analyze a rocket that's veering off course. Let's get one thing straight. When a man says he needs space, he's not talking about a weekend to clear his head or a solo hike to find himself. That's the kind of story we tell when we're trying to soft land a hard truth. I've spent my life pushing boundaries, building electric cars when everyone said it was impossible, launching rockets when the experts laughed. And I've learned one thing: people don't ask for space when they're committed to the mission. They ask for it when they're already halfway out the door, testing the waters of a new trajectory while keeping you tethered as a backup. This phrase isn't about self-discovery. It's about permission, permission to explore something or someone else without cutting the cord completely. Picture this. You're running a company, let's say it's Tesla. You've got a team pouring their hearts into building something groundbreaking, but one of your key engineers comes to you and says, I need space from the project. You wouldn't just nod and say, sure, take all the time you need. You'd know something's up. Maybe they're interviewing at a competitor. Maybe they're burned out. But you dig into the why because no one asks for space when they're all in. Relationships are no different. When a man says, I need space, he's not looking to recharge his batteries. He's looking to redirect his energy somewhere else to someone else. And he wants you to sign off on it, to give him the green light to wander while you're left holding the blueprint of a dream you built together. Here's where it gets real. I've been in situations where everything's on the line: SpaceX in 2008, staring down bankruptcy, 3 failed launches in a row. The pressure was crushing, but I didn't ask for space from my team. I doubled down, worked harder, got clearer. When someone's committed, they don't step back, they step up. So when a man tells you he needs space, what he's really saying is, I'm not committed to you anymore, but I don't want to say it out loud. He's hedging his bets, keeping you in the loop as a fallback while he's already scoping out a new mission. And the worst part, he's counting on you to be understanding, to nod and say, okay, I'll wait. Don't. That's not love. That's playing backup to someone who's already left the control room. Let's talk about the psychology here, because I'm all about getting to the root cause. When I'm debugging a neural network at Neuralink or troubleshooting a Starship prototype, I don't just accept it's not working as an answer. I tear it apart until I find the flaw. And with this phrase, the flaw is in the intent. A man who says he needs space isn't confused, he's strategic, he's creating distance without taking responsibility for it. He wants the freedom to explore maybe a new woman, maybe a new life, while keeping you as a safety net. It's like keeping a spare rocket in the hangar just in case the new one explodes on launch. And you're not a spare, you're the main event, the mission itself. Now, I know what you're thinking. Maybe he really does need space. Maybe he's stressed or work's overwhelming. Sure, life gets heavy. I've been there: 100-hour work weeks, sleeping on the factory floor, juggling a dozen impossible problems. But when I'm committed to something, whether it's a company or a person, I don't ask for an escape hatch. I communicate, I solve, I fight for it. If he's not fighting for you, if he's asking for space instead of clarity, he's not stressed, he's disengaged. His heart's already clocking out, and he's using this phrase to buy time while he figures out his next move. Here's a story from my world. Back when we were building the first Falcon 1, we had a launch that went wrong, catastrophically wrong. The rocket didn't just fail, it blew up seconds after liftoff. Devastating. But I didn't walk away and say, I need space from SpaceX. I got in the room with my engineers, pored over the data, and figured out what went wrong. That's what commitment looks like. If a man's telling you he needs space, he's not analyzing the data of your relationship to fix it. He's abandoning the mission. And he's hoping you'll be the one to carry the weight of that failure while he's off chasing a new star. So what do you do when you hear this? You don't wait, you don't negotiate, you don't try to convince him to come back to the launch pad. You take control. Imagine you're in mission control and one of your key systems is offline, you don't sit there hoping it magically comes back online. You reroute power, you recalibrate, you keep the mission moving. That's what you need to do here. When he says, I need space, you look him in the eye and say, take all the space you want, but don't expect me to be your landing pad when you crash, because you're not here to be someone's fallback. You're here to soar. This is where the Musk mindset kicks in. I don't believe in half measures. When I started Tesla, people said electric cars were a pipe dream. When I started SpaceX, they said private spaceflight was impossible. I didn't listen to the doubters, and I didn't settle for good enough. You shouldn't either. If a man's asking for space, he's telling you he's not all in. And you deserve someone who's as committed to you as I am to getting humanity to Mars. Anything less is a waste of your fuel, your time, your brilliance. Let's get practical. You're a woman with dreams, big ones. Maybe you're building a career, raising a family, or just trying to live a life that makes you proud. You don't have time to orbit around someone who's already drifting away. When you hear, I need space, it's not just a red flag, it's a klaxon blaring in your ear. It's the universe telling you to redirect your energy. Don't waste it trying to pull him back. Don't spend your nights wondering what you could have done differently. You're not the problem. His lack of commitment is. And the sooner you see that, the sooner you can start building something bigger, better, bolder. I've had moments where I had to cut ties, not just in business, but in life. It's never easy. Letting go of a project, a dream, or a person you've invested in feels like losing a piece of yourself. But here's what I've learned. Every time you let go of something that's not working, you make room for something that will. When we scrapped early designs for the Tesla Roadster, it hurt, but it cleared the way for something better. When you let go of a man who's asking for space, you're not losing. You're clearing the runway for someone who'll show up, fully fueled, ready to fly with you. This phrase, I need space, is a signal, not a mystery. It's a man saying, I'm not choosing you anymore, but I don't want to be the bad guy. Don't let him off the hook. Don't let him make you feel like you're the one who's failing. You're not. You're a force, a creator, a woman who can move mountains or at least build a tunnel through them. So when you hear this phrase, don't shrink, don't beg, stand tall like a rocket ready for launch and say, if you need space, take it. But I'm not waiting in the hangar because the universe is vast and you've got too many stars to chase to be stuck orbiting someone who's already gone. We're not done yet. There are 5 more phrases to decode, each one a signal of a man's unfaithfulness, each one a chance for you to take back your power. Stay with me, because we're building something here, not just a relationship, but a life that's unapologetically yours. Let's keep pushing forward, no matter how tough it gets. That's how we change the world, one bold move at a time. We're deep in the mission now, ladies, and there's no turning back. This is about seeing the universe for what it is, raw, unfiltered, and sometimes brutal. I'm Elon, and I've spent my life chasing impossible goals. Electric cars that outrun gas guzzlers, rockets that land themselves, a future where humanity lives among the stars. But today, I'm here to talk about a different kind of challenge, one that hits you where it hurts most, the heart. We're decoding the signals of a man who's unfaithful, not just in body, but in soul. And we're at the third phrase he uses when he's already slipping out of your orbit. It's not always about the physical stuff. This one's a stealth maneuver, like a satellite quietly drifting off course. And if you don't catch it, it'll leave you stranded in a relationship that's already lost its gravity. Let's cut through the noise. When a man says, it's not always about the physical stuff, it sounds deep, doesn't it? Like he's reaching for some higher plane of connection, like he's suddenly turned into a philosopher pondering the meaning of love. Don't fall for it. This isn't enlightenment, it's evasion. It's a man trying to dodge the truth. He's no longer drawn to you the way he once was. His desire, the spark that used to make him reach for you, kiss you, pull you close without a second thought, that's gone. And instead of owning up to it, he's throwing out this line to make you question yourself, to make you think you're the one who's missing the big picture. I've seen this kind of dodge before. When we were building the first Tesla Model 1 Do S, critics said electric cars couldn't match the soul of a gas-powered engine. They'd throw out vague, lofty arguments about driving experience to mask their real fear, change. But I didn't buy it. I dug into the data, tested every assumption, and built a car that smoked their so-called soul in a quarter-mile drag race. You need to do the same here. When a man says this phrase, he's not elevating the relationship to some spiritual plane, he's deflecting. He's trying to shift the blame to make you feel like you're too focused on the physical, when in reality, he's the one who's checked out. Here's the deal. When a man's truly into you, the physical isn't something he has to justify. It's not a checkbox on a to-do list. It's instinct, passion, a pull as natural as gravity. Back when you were the center of his universe, he didn't need to explain why he wanted to hold you, kiss you, be close. It just happened, like a rocket hitting escape velocity. But now, when you notice his touch feels distant, his kisses feel like a formality, he hits you with this. It's not always about the physical stuff. And suddenly, you're wondering if you're asking too much. If you're too needy, too shallow, you're not. You're just asking for what used to come naturally. And he's using this phrase to cover the fact that he's giving that energy to someone else, or at least dreaming about it. Let's break it down like I would a starship design flaw. When a system fails, you don't just shrug and say, well, it's not about that part anyway. You find the root cause, and the root cause here is simple. His desire has left the building. He's not craving you anymore. His body might still be there going through the motions, but his mind, his heart, they're elsewhere. Maybe he's fantasizing about someone new. Maybe he's already crossed a line. But either way, he's not all in with you, and he's using this phrase to keep you in place while he explores his options. It's like keeping a prototype in storage while you test a new model, except you're not a prototype. You're the real deal, and you deserve someone who sees that. This phrase is a masterclass in emotional sleight of hand. It's designed to make you doubt yourself. You start thinking, maybe I'm too focused on the physical. Maybe I should be more understanding, more patient. Stop. This isn't about you being shallow. It's about him being dishonest. He's not saying this because he's suddenly discovered the virtues of a platonic connection. He's saying it because his desire is pointing somewhere else, and he doesn't want to admit it. He wants to keep you as his emotional anchor while he's out there chasing a new thrill. And that, ladies, is not just unfaithful, it's unfair. I've had moments in my life where I had to face hard truths. When we lost that first Falcon 1 launch, it wasn't just a rocket that blew up. It was years of work, millions of dollars, and a dream that felt like it was slipping away. But I didn't hide from it. I didn't tell my team it's not about the launch. I faced it, dissected it, and built something better. That's what you need to do here. When he says it's not always about the physical stuff, don't let it slide. Don't let him gaslight you into thinking you're the problem. Face the truth. He's not giving you what you deserve because he's already giving it or planning to give it to someone else. Here's where you channel your inner trailblazer. You're not just a woman in a relationship. You're a creator, a dreamer, someone who can reshape the world in ways that make my goals look like small potatoes. But you can't do that if you're stuck trying to fix a man who's already checked out. When you hear this phrase, it's a signal to pivot, to redirect your energy. Don't waste it trying to reignite a spark that's gone out. Don't beg for the closeness you used to have. Instead, look at him and say, if it's not about the physical, then it's not about us because I'm not here to be your roommate. That's not weakness, that's strength. That's you taking the controls and steering your life towards something bigger. Think about it like this. Every great mission has a point where you have to decide whether to keep pushing or cut your losses. When we were developing the Tesla Powerwall, there were designs that just weren't cutting it. We didn't keep tweaking them forever. We scrapped them and started fresh. That's what you need to do when a man starts pulling this line. He's not a project you need to debug. He's a design that's not working, and you've got better things to build. Your life, your dreams, your future, they're all waiting for you to clear the runway and launch. This isn't about giving up on love. It's about refusing to settle for less than you deserve. I didn't settle when the world said electric cars were a fad. I didn't settle when NASA said private companies couldn't compete in space. And you shouldn't settle for a man who's trying to downgrade your relationship to something platonic while he's out there chasing something else. You're not here to be his fallback plan, his safety net, his just in case. You're here to be the star of your own story, the one who lights up the sky, not the one who's left in the dark. So when you hear, it's not always about the physical stuff, don't argue, don't try to prove your worth. Just look at him, calm as a mission control operator, and say, if it's not about that, then it's not about me because I'm not here for half measures, then walk away. Not with tears, not with drama, but with the kind of resolve that built SpaceX from a crazy idea to a company that's landing rockets on ocean platforms. You've got that resolve in you, use it. We've got 4 more phrases to go, each one a chance to see the truth and take back your power. This isn't just about spotting a man's unfaithfulness. It's about building a life that's unapologetically yours, one that's as bold and boundless as a trip to Mars. Keep your eyes on the stars, ladies, because that's where you belong. Let's keep moving forward, full thrust, no regrets. We're pushing forward, full throttle, into the uncharted territory of human relationships. This is about seeing the truth, raw and unfiltered, like staring at the telemetry data of a rocket launch and spotting the anomaly before it's too late. I'm Elon, and I've built my life on tackling the impossible electric cars that outpace gas guzzlers, reusable rockets that defy gravity, neural interfaces that bridge minds and machines. But today, we're tackling something just as complex: the signals a man sends when his heart's already left the mission. We're at the fourth phrase, one that's like a cloaking device, hiding his true intentions. You've changed too. This one's a gut punch, ladies, designed to shift the blame and keep you spinning in doubt. Let's rip the cover off and expose what's really going on. When a man says, "You've changed too," it's not a moment of reflection. It's a tactical move, like a chess player sacrificing a pawn to protect the king. He's not pointing out some profound truth about your growth or your flaws. He's deflecting, trying to make you the problem so he can justify his own drift. This phrase is a masterstroke of emotional misdirection, and if you're not paying attention, it'll have you questioning your own worth while he's already halfway to another galaxy. I've seen this kind of dodge in boardrooms, engineers blaming the specs instead of admitting they missed the deadline. And just like I don't let that slide at SpaceX, you shouldn't let it slide in your life. Let's break it down. You're in a relationship, pouring your heart into it, maybe building a life together, like I've poured years into Tesla or Starlink. You're showing up day after day, giving your all, but then you notice he's pulling back, less present, less engaged, his eyes wandering when he thinks you're not looking. You call him out, or maybe you just ask what's wrong, and he hits you with this: "You've changed too." Suddenly, the spotlight's on you. You're the one who's different, who's not the same, who somehow failed to keep the spark alive. And before you know it, you're digging through your own actions, wondering if he's right, if you've let him down. Spoiler alert, you haven't. He's just rewriting the narrative to cover his own tracks. This is personal for me. I've been in moments where everything's on the line: 2008, SpaceX on the brink, Tesla bleeding cash, the world betting against me. People said I'd changed, that I was too reckless, too obsessed, but I wasn't the problem. The problem was their lack of vision, their refusal to see what I was trying to build. And that's what's happening here. When a man says, "You've changed too," he's not seeing you clearly. He's projecting his own disengagement, his own failure to stay committed onto you. He wants you to carry the guilt so he can slip away without looking like the bad guy. It's like blaming the rocket for a failed launch when the real issue is a faulty guidance system. His Here's the truth. Relationships, like any great mission, require constant work. When we built the Falcon Heavy, it wasn't just about slapping three boosters together and calling it a day. It was years of grinding, testing, failing, iterating. If a man's not willing to put in that work, if he's pointing fingers instead of rolling up his sleeves, he's already checked out. And this phrase, it's his way of saying, "I'm not doing the work anymore, but it's your fault." He's trying to rewrite the mission log to make it look like you're the one who veered off course, when in reality, he's the one who's abandoned the flight plan. Let's get to the psychology, because I'm all about root causes. When we're debugging a Starship explosion, we don't stop at "it blew up." We trace every wire, every valve, every line of code until we know why. With this phrase, the why is clear. He's not choosing you anymore. His heart, his desire, his focus, they're elsewhere, maybe with another woman, maybe with a fantasy of freedom. But instead of owning it, he's flipping the script, making you the villain in his story. It's a coward's move, like an engineer blaming the weather for a launch delay instead of admitting they didn't calibrate the sensors. And you're not here to take the fall for his weakness. I know this hits hard. You've invested in this man, this relationship, like I've invested in dreams that seemed crazy to everyone else. You've given your time, your energy, your heart. And when he says, "You've changed too," it feels like a betrayal, not just of you, but of everything you've built together. It's like pouring years into a company only to have a partner say, "You're not the same visionary anymore." It stings, but it's also a wake-up call, because you haven't changed in the way he's claiming. You're still you strong, brilliant, capable of moving mountains. He's just trying to dim your light to justify his own dimming commitment. So what do? You don't argue, you don't defend yourself, you don't try to prove you're still the woman he fell for. That's a trap, like trying to fix a rocket that's already crashed. Instead, you look at him calm as a mission control operator watching a launch and say, "If you think I've changed, that's your loss because I'm just getting started. Then you pivot. You redirect your energy, your focus, your brilliance towards something that deserves it. Your dreams, your goals, your future. Because you're not here to be someone's scapegoat. You're here to build a life that's as bold as a trip to Mars. This is where the Musk mindset comes in. I don't believe in playing small. When the world said reusable rockets were impossible, I didn't listen. When they said electric cars couldn't compete, I proved them wrong. And when a man tries to make you feel like you're the problem, you don't shrink, you rise. You're not just a woman in a relationship. You're a force, a creator, someone who can reshape the world in ways that make my goals look like a warm up. But you can't do that if you're stuck defending yourself against a man who's already halfway out the door. Think about it like this. Every great mission has a moment where you have to decide what's worth fighting for. When we were developing the Tesla Cybertruck, there were designs that didn't make the cut. We didn't cling to them out of sentiment. We let them go and built something better. That's what you need to do here. When a man says, "You've changed too," he's telling you he's not worth your fuel. Don't waste it trying to prove him wrong. Don't spend your nights wondering what you could have done differently. You're not the problem. His lack of courage is. And the sooner you see that, the sooner you can launch into something bigger. This phrase is a signal, not a mystery. It's a man saying, "I'm not all in anymore, but I want you to feel responsible for it." Don't take the bait. Don't let him rewrite your story. You're the one writing the code for your life, and you don't need his approval to run it. So when you hear "you've changed too," don't flinch. Stand tall, like a rocket on the launch pad, and say, "If you can't see my value, that's your failure, not mine." Then keep building, keep dreaming, keep pushing toward the stars because that's where you belong. We've got three more phrases to decode, each one a chance to take back your power and chart your own course. This isn't just about spotting a man's unfaithfulness, it's about building a life that's unapologetically yours, one that's as fearless and boundless as a journey to the edge of the solar system. Stay with me, ladies, because we're not slowing down. Full speed ahead, no regrets. We're in the thick of it now, ladies, tearing through the layers of deception like a starship punching through Earth's atmosphere. This isn't just about relationships, it's about seeing the world with crystal clarity, the kind I demand when I'm staring down a launch window or a production line at Tesla. I'm Elon, and I've built my life on solving problems that seem impossible. Colonizing Mars, rewiring transportation, linking brains to machines. But today, we're tackling a problem that hits harder than a failed rocket test, the subtle, corrosive words of a man who's already left you emotionally, even if he's still sitting in your living room. We're at the fifth phrase, one that's like a silent alarm in the control room. I'm too tired to talk right now. This one's sneaky, disarming, and if you don't catch it, it'll erode your foundation while you're still trying to keep the mission alive. Let's cut to the chase. When a man says, "I'm too tired to talk right now," it sounds reasonable, doesn't it? Life's exhausting. We've all been there, long days, endless problems, the kind of fatigue that makes you want to collapse. I've pulled all-nighters at the Tesla factory, slept on the floor to keep production moving, so I get it. But here's the thing. When someone's truly committed, they don't use tiredness as an excuse to shut you out. This phrase isn't about physical exhaustion. It's about emotional disengagement, a man pulling the plug on your connection while pretending it's just a temporary glitch. It's like a rocket engine cutting out mid-flight, not because it's out of fuel, but because someone flipped the switch. Picture this. You're trying to connect, to talk about what's going on, to bridge the gap you feel growing between you. Maybe you've noticed he's been distant, his responses clipped, his eyes glued to his phone. You ask, "Is everything okay? Can we talk?" And he hits you with, "I'm too tired to talk right now." It's soft, almost apologetic, like he's just had a rough day. But deep down, it's more than that. You feel the shift like a satellite losing signal. And here's the kicker. He's not too tired for everything. If his phone buzzes with a text from someone else, if there's a new game or a new interest lighting up his eyes, suddenly he's got all the energy in the world, just not for you. This is where I get fired up because I've seen this kind of dodge before. When we were pushing to get the Falcon 9 off the ground, there were moments when the team was exhausted, mentally, physically, emotionally. But when a critical issue came up, we didn't say, "We're too tired to fix it." We rolled up our sleeves, downed some coffee, and got to work. Because that's what you do when you're all in. When a man says he's too tired to talk, he's not just tired, he's done. He's checked out of the mission, but he's too spineless to admit it. Instead, he hides behind this phrase, hoping you'll back off, give him space, and let him coast while he's already redirecting his fuel to something or someone else. Let's dig into the mechanics, because I'm all about finding the root cause. When a rocket fails, we don't just say it broke. We tear it apart, every bolt, every circuit, every line of code until we know why. With this phrase, the why is brutal but clear. He's not investing in you anymore. His emotional energy, the thing that used to make him light up when you walked into the room, is going somewhere else. Maybe it's another woman. Maybe it's a fantasy of a different life. But whatever it is, it's not you. And he's using "I'm too tired" as a shield to avoid the hard conversation, to keep you in the dark while he's already plotting a new course. This one hits hard, I know. You've been there for him, holding it down, maybe juggling your own dreams, your career, your life, while still trying to keep this relationship on track. You're not asking for much, just a real conversation, a moment of connection. And when he shuts you down with "I'm too tired," it feels like a slap in the face. It's not just about the moment, it's about all the moments that never come, the talks that get postponed, the questions that go unanswered. You're left feeling like you're begging for scraps, like you're the one who's too demanding, but you're not. You're just asking for what any mission requires: communication, clarity, commitment. Here's a story from my world. When we were racing to get Starlink satellites into orbit, there were nights when the whole team was running on fumes. Deadlines were crushing, the stakes were sky high, and we were all exhausted. But when a critical issue came up, a glitch in the deployment system, a software bug, we didn't say, "We'll deal with it tomorrow." We sat down, hashed it out, fixed it, because that's what you do when you care about the outcome. If a man's too tired to talk to you, he's not just tired, he's disengaged. He's not fighting for the mission anymore. And you're not here to beg him to show up. This is where you need to channel your inner pioneer. You're not just a woman in a relationship. You're a force capable of building empires, chasing dreams, rewriting the rules of what's possible. I didn't get to where I am by accepting half-hearted efforts from my team, and you shouldn't accept them from a man who's supposed to be your partner. When he says, "I'm too tired to talk right now," don't nod and say, "Okay, we'll talk later." Don't wait for a moment that's never coming. Look at him steady as a launch tower and say, "If you're too tired for me, then you're too tired for us, because I'm not here to carry this alone." Then pivot. Redirect your energy to something that fuels you, not drains you. Think about it like this. Every great mission has a point where you have to make a hard call. When we were developing the Tesla Mo 1, Do 3, there were components that didn't meet the mark. We didn't keep tweaking them forever. We replaced them with something better. That's what you need to do here. When a man starts shutting you out with, "I'm too tired," he's not a component worth fixing. He's a liability, pulling you off course. Don't waste your fuel trying to drag him back. Instead, focus on your own trajectory, your goals, your dreams, your life, because you're not here to orbit around someone who's already drifting away. This phrase is a warning light, not a puzzle. It's a man saying, "I don't have the energy for you anymore," while hoping you'll keep the engines running for him. Don't, you're not his backup generator. You're the whole damn power plant capable of lighting up the world. So when you hear, "I'm too tired to talk right now," don't let it slide. Don't let him make you feel like you're asking too much. You're asking for the bare minimum connection, and if he can't deliver, he doesn't deserve a seat on your rocket. We've got two more phrases to go, each one a chance to see the truth and take control of your destiny. This isn't just about spotting a man's unfaithfulness, it's about building a life that's as bold and unstoppable as a SpaceX launch. Keep your eyes on the horizon, ladies, because you're not just chasing stars, you're becoming one. Full speed ahead, no looking back.